something where you could use an impact font. It grabs attention. It basically demands attention. But when you go through a whole sales page of impact font, it's not going to be an easy read. Some of the good ones are Arial, Verdina, Tahoma, and Times New Roman. Sans serif fonts such as Arial denote a sense of safety and anonymity. Arial is one of the most used fonts on the planet. It's probably one of them that you're going to see the most used on sales pages a lot of times. It's just one of the standard ones that you're going to see. Handwritten fonts come across as having a friendly, personal tone. Use these fonts for your signature fonts. A lot of people, you don't have to use your exact signature. There's different signature fonts that you can play around with, see if there's anything close or one that you want to use. But they basically give a friendly, personal tone, but you're not going to want to have your whole sales copy like that because it becomes hard to read. Serif fonts or Times New Roman. These fonts are noticed as being elegant, prestigious, and traditional fonts as well. Courier font is seen as very open and honest. Impact font is seen as loud and kind of abrupt, like we were just talking about. Attention grabbing. Also seen as a font that makes a statement. And like I said before, it's used for headlines in many cases. It's a good one. Do not use bold impact, unless absolutely necessary, unless you're really out to make an impact on somebody. That's what that stands for, is impact, and it does make a big statement. Sans serif fonts seem to be the most easiest fonts to read on the computer screen. Verdina is one that I really like to use. That's a font that was actually invented as a font specifically for computers. Verdina is probably one of them that I like to use the most. I like Tahoma as well, or Arial, probably one of those three. Sometimes Times New Roman, but usually Arial, Tahoma, and Verdina are the three that I use the most. And I use impact a lot of times for my headlines. Font choices, and many times as important as the words you write. When choosing a font, remember that what really matters is conversion, not what you think is the prettiest or the coolest looking font that's out there. Just because you think it looks cool does not mean it's going to help your sales page convert. So be very, very careful with that. All right, tip 2, highlight hot buttons. Another tip is to highlight or otherwise decorate words and phrases that you want your readers to sit up and take notice of as they read your words on your sales page. And here's kind of what I'm talking about. I just kind of wrote a quick paragraph and showed you some of the things that you can do with maybe like the hot button words that you want to really stand out. They should stand out. We call this decorating. Grab the prospect's attention by using font characters such as a bold. So maybe you want to bold it to make it stand out. Italicize it. Be careful with it. It's a little hard to read if you use much of it. You might want to underline it. Maybe use a different color. And I don't like to use a whole lot of different colors unless I'm talking about the pricing or something like that. Otherwise, or maybe the sub-headlines. In the headlines, I'll use in different colors, but the rest of it's going to be pretty much in the same colors. Different size, maybe just to, make it the next size font, or highlighted. You can do these different things to kind of make your hot button words stand out a little bit. A lot of what I like to do is bold and underline it. It's just to get it. What this helps is it helps your reader to pick out these hot button words that you want them to find, and it also helps their eye to kind of start moving down the page to see what, because they'll catch their attention and help them keep moving. Don't go overboard. You're not going to want to have a paragraph that you've got like 3/4 of the words underlined and bolded and highlighted and everything else. That's just, after a while, they figure out what you're trying to do. And so be careful with it. Don't go overboard. Some of the hot button words that you can, that you might want to be highlighting are things like absolutely, comfortable, critical, instantly, mind-blowing, money, unconditional, like, talking about unconditional guarantees, unlimited, step-by-step, special, quickly, need, free. If you use the word free, I'm just telling you right now, take that word, all capital letters, make that word stand out. People like to see that word. A lot of people, talk about, you need to keep it out of there. And I don't even take my emails and sit there and put little commas or something in between the R and the E to make it so that that's not noticed as the word free. I just put it out there, never have any problems with it. as getting as far as being spam or anything like that. But these are kind of words, some of the words, and the list can go on and on and on. You can do a search for words that are hot buttons. There's other products out there that will also give you lots of hot button words that you can use. Make your headline pop and grab the reader's attention. Your headline is the first and perhaps only impression you make on a prospective reader. Without a headline or post title that turns a browser into a reader, the rest of your words may as well not even exist, because if you don't get them here, there's no sense in writing the rest of it. And a lot of the times, if you grab them here, they're going to find the call to action, and they're going to go maybe look for the PSs and to find out what else they need, because a lot of people are not going to sit there and read your sales pages. They're going to, if it grabs their attention right now and gives them the benefit, and that's why it's important to use those benefits there, tells them that it's something that they need, that it's something that it's relevant to them, they're going to just start moving down and looking for the price and the call to action. A great headline can also communicate a full message to its intended audience, and it absolutely must lure the reader into your body text. Otherwise, they're not going to go no farther. But a lot of times, it can communicate your full message, like I was just talking about, and get them just ready to take action from your very headline. At its essence, a compelling headline must promise some kind of benefit or reward for the reader in trade for the valuable time it takes to read more. A lot of the times, you have long sales copy that is out there, and don't be afraid to have long sales copy. You need to put in as much as you have to get the message and to get every element of that sales page included. If you miss any elements, you're going to be missing out. A lot of people go, I don't like to read that long sales copy. It's there for a reason, and if you've got the mindset, I don't like to use long sales copy, you're going to have a hard time getting everything in there that you need to get there. It's something that just needs to be done. It converts better over the short copy almost every single time. I mean, if they're in that much of a hurry, you're gonna get them in the headline, and they're gonna go look for the action to take at that point. A bad headline. Let's say you were sending a email out or whatever, and you're trying to have the software that you're selling to basically send out large files, whatever. A bad headline would be like, send large files to your friends. People see large files coming across as something that's maybe be infected or something they don't really trust. That headline right there really conveys no trust or really much benefit or anything really. It doesn't really tell anything about what's going on. You might take the same headline and create the easiest, most trusted way to send super large files. Now it's not just files, it's super large files. It's not just a way, it's the easiest and most trusted way. So it starts conveying a little bit of trust. Talks a little bit about the benefits of that and just that little bitty subject line right there. Create reader-friendly paragraphs. Restrict the length of all your paragraphs to between 4 to 6 lines. And that's just something as a standard is set. If it's at more than 6 lines, try not to go too much over. But if you're, 9 or 10 once in a while, it's not going to be no biggie. But your sales letter should have an inviting, reader-friendly look to it. Your prospect will definitely not be too happy to see 9, 11 reader-unfriendly sentence paragraphs in a row that are just, all run together. And I'm going to show you an example of this in a few minutes. Vary the length of your paragraph so that it does not become too mundane. Now here's one that's written where you go through, you notice all the paragraphs are, pretty much in between 2 to 6, lines there. You've got white space in between each one of them to kind of break it up, to give it a pleasing effect. Now I want you to take a look at this next one here. If you were to come across this sales page, and I've seen this stuff, I created this one just as an example, but I've seen this kind of stuff where everything was just run in together, and you start reading through this, pretty soon you'll lose your spot, and you can't find it. If you're down here reading, the problem is when you lack and you lose your spot, where are you going back? Probably right back to where you started, because you're going to have a hard time looking for it. It's not reader friendly, and it's going to drive people crazy, and they're going to end up leaving. Put plenty of white space, keep your paragraphs, try to keep them 4 to 6 lines, and you'll do very well with that. Use subheadlines, bullet numbers, and other devices to attract attention and promote continued reading. Centered and bolded subheads and other eye-attracting devices can enhance readership. It keeps the eye moving down the page. Subhead, bulleted lists, and bolding and other devices will give your letter added appeal and augment response. Always take care to use these devices carefully. Overuse of them can counteract their overall efficiency. And that goes with a lot of the elements of your sales page. You know, like bolding things and underlining things. If you overuse things, it can kind of counteract what you're trying to actually do.